is News 3 Now at 10.
And thank you for joining us tonight. The snow is wrapping up around southern Wisconsin, but the bitter and potentially dangerous cold is moving in. Let's check in right away with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti and our first warn forecast.
Charlotte, you can see flakes of snow flying around me. That's not falling from the sky. That's the blowing snow caused by the strong winds and the light fluffy snow on top of the thicker and heavier snow that fell earlier today. The time lapse from the WISC Skycam shows the snow moving in at times, causing almost near zero visibility for a few minutes before it lightened up. But most of what you see now through the evening hours has just been blowing snow detected by our tower cam. The accumulating snow is now out over Lake Michigan or in northeastern Wisconsin and moving away from us. You can hear the wind howling behind me as that continues to pick up. So other than a few flurries, the accumulating snow is done. High temperatures today were right around freezing, or in some cases a little bit above that. But look at where temperatures have fallen now. Right around 20 in Madison, in the teens to the west of us, and those winds are gusting in the 25 to 35 or almost 40 mile per hour range, not only causing blowing and drifting snow, but dropping wind chills into the single digits above and below zero, and they get worse from here. In our day planner for tomorrow, look for a low temperature of about 6 with wind chills down to about 10 below zero by morning. Tomorrow's high temperature at 13, wind chills staying below zero all day with some more blowing and drifting snow. And then the bottom really drops out on the temperatures as we head toward the weekend and for much of next week. I'll have more details and weather in a few minutes.
Thank you, Gary. The Madison Streets Division says today's snowfall has once again triggered a citywide plowing effort. According to a release, nearly 3 dozen trucks will be out all night, salting and plowing. The department is asking people to choose off-street parking options overnight so it can be done more thoroughly. Our Madeline O'Neill is keeping an eye on the current road conditions, and she joins us live along the Beltline on the west side. Madeline?
Well, Charlotte, as Gary mentioned, the snow isn't falling anymore, but we're still seeing the wind blow it around, and that wind can get brutal, making it feel really cold out here, but also affecting visibility. So something you'll want to keep an eye on if you have to hit the roads. As mentioned, we're on the west side of the Beltline, right near the Midvale exit. Things are moving along okay here. For the most part, the Beltline is pretty clear. I went a little bit more slowly than usual. Got lucky behind a plow on the way here today, but the ramps were pretty slick. The other roads were icy as well, and that's something you'll want to keep in mind too, because at these temperatures and as it just gets colder and colder, the salt is not going to do as much to get rid of that ice. So that is something to keep in mind on your morning commute tomorrow as well.
Madeline, thank you. The road conditions likely a cause of a bus crash today on the east side. This happened on East Washington Avenue near Dickinson Street. Madison police say the bus is privately owned and was transporting adults. One person on board had minor injuries. A Madison Metro bus was able to get to the scene and take everyone who was inside to a warming shelter. No one was injured. This same storm system impacting travel across the Midwest. In Iowa today, more than 40 vehicles were involved in a massive pileup on I-18 in Jasper County. State troopers report a few serious injuries and some minor injuries in the crash. 2 troopers were also involved in that, but were not hurt. And a reminder, you can get all of our local forecasts and weather information on the go. Download our free Channel 3000 weather app in your app store of choice. We have breaking news tonight. A teenager wanted for the deadly shooting at the Fox River Mall in northeastern Wisconsin last weekend is now in custody. Grand Chute police say 17-year-old Desmond Ellis was arrested in Des Moines, Iowa without incident this afternoon, about 400 miles away from where the shooting happened. Ellis is charged in Outagamie County Circuit Court with first-degree intentional homicide and first-degree recklessly endangering safety. Next at 10, Governor Tony Evers has issued a new statewide mask mandate. It happened this afternoon, less than an hour after the state assembly voted to throw out the old order. The new mandate goes into effect immediately. Republicans could issue a new joint resolution to overturn the new mandate. Senator Steve Noss says he's already drafting that. Assembly leadership says they want the governor to do a limited mask mandate using the rulemaking process, which would give Assembly Republicans veto power. So the bottom line, this back and forth will likely only be settled in the courts. But even if courts rule the governor doesn't have the power to keep issuing new emergency orders, our local health department's orders and mask mandates will still stay in effect. And just this evening, Rock County health officials are issuing their own face covering mandate. It is effective immediately and will expire on May 5th. It requires everyone ages 5 and older to wear a face covering when they are indoors with anyone who is not a member of their household or outdoors where 6 feet of separation is not possible. 41 new COVID-related deaths were reported in Wisconsin today as the state death toll nears 6,000. When it comes to vaccinations, DHS says a total of 659,000 vaccine doses have been administered since December. Nearly 40,000 of those have been given in the last 24 hours. Nearly 130,000 people throughout the state have received both doses of the shot. That equates to about 2.2% of the state's population. Unity Point Health Meritor says it will contact all of its patients ages 65 or older about getting the vaccine by the end of next week. Meritor says half of its patients 65 and older have already been contacted to schedule an appointment, and they expect to reach out to the remaining eligible people by next Friday. UW-Madison Chancellor Rebecca Blank says the school will face $320 million in pandemic-related losses by the time the fiscal year ends in June. She noted that the university has been trying to fill the losses with reserves, federal aid, furloughs, frozen salaries, and pay cuts for the school's senior leadership. But Blank characterized the shortfall as a short-term issue that should eventually resolve itself. The coronavirus has killed more than 455,000 Americans, according to Johns Hopkins University. CBS News correspondent Michael George reports from New York. There may soon be another life-saving weapon in the war against the pandemic, a third COVID vaccine in the U.S.
Johnson & Johnson asked the FDA for emergency approval of its single-dose vaccine. The J&J vaccine stays fresh for months in a conventional refrigerator, though in clinical trials it's shown to be not quite as effective as the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines. Across the U.S., people are lining up for their shots.
It does provide me with some hope.
Tomorrow, the iconic Yankee Stadium will become a mass COVID vaccination clinic for Bronx residents. The hope is to vaccinate 15,000 people in the first week.
These Kentucky cousins are helping seniors register for vaccines.
We realized this was a need and that, our grandparents probably weren't the only senior citizens who needed help doing it.
And there's promising news of a new antibody test being developed by scientists at the University of Denver. It could determine whether someone testing positive for COVID will have mild or more severe symptoms. On Capitol Hill, Democrats are preparing to push President Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID relief plan with or without GOP support.
This is the necessary first step in getting our economy up and running again and getting our arms around this COVID crisis.
Republicans are calling for a much smaller spending bill.
The remaining damage to our economy does not require another multi-trillion-dollar non-targeted Band-Aid.
Into Thursday night, Senate Republicans forced votes on a slew of amendments in a marathon session known as a vote-a-rama. Michael George, CBS News.
President Biden says he wants to fulfill a campaign promise of $1,400 payments to Americans, but might be willing to negotiate over who qualifies. Georgia Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene will be removed from the Budget and Education and Labor committees after 11 Republicans joined the Democrats in a bipartisan House vote. Greene has questioned whether school shootings, including Parkland and Sandy Hook, were staged, claimed there's no evidence a plane hit the Pentagon on 9/11, and reportedly liked social media posts calling for violence against some Democrats. In a House floor speech, she walked back those comments, saying she now believes school shootings and the 9/11 attacks were real, while also blaming media organizations.
I was allowed to believe things that weren't true, and I would ask questions about them and talk about them. And that is absolutely what I regret.
Representative Greene came to this floor to defend her indefensible conduct. I heard no apology.
On Twitter, the Georgia Congresswoman said she will not back down and boasted that she has fundraised up to $175,000 off of the move to strip her committee assignments. Still to come tonight, when we can start to feel the temperature drop as we begin a bitter cold snap. But first, a News 3 Now special report, an in-depth look at some of the challenges facing healthcare workers as they try to vaccinate people in rural parts of the state.
Don't miss the biggest mattress sale of the year. The Mattress Marathon is at Ashley Home Store's biggest President's Day sale. Get the guaranteed best offer in all of Wisconsin on Tempur-Pedic and Beautyrest mattresses. Plus, save up to 65% off doorbusters like these. Ashley Home Store.
I like to move it. I like to move it.
Ready to move on from workouts like this? Now through February 11th, join Planet Fitness for no enrollment, $10 a month, no commitment. With all this variety, you can move it in our clean and spacious clubs. And use the crowd meter in our app for the best time to visit, so you can work out with plenty of room to move. America, your fitness is essential. Join for no enrollment, $10 a month, no commitment. Deal ends February 11th.
5 Madison area locations. Sign up for $10 a month. Stop in today.
Menards has the flooring options to make your house feel like your home. And whether you're looking for that elegant, timeless look, a bold and contemporary style, or a sense of comfort, with thousands of options to choose from, we've got you covered. We carry top quality brands in a variety of styles, colors, and patterns, so you'll find that perfect fit for every room. Check out all the flooring options at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Millions of customers are leaving their providers and switching to Spectrum. And if you have satellite, it's not hard to see why. Because unlike satellite, Spectrum gives you all the services you need, like internet and TV from one provider.
They do?
Yeah, they do. And Spectrum has the fastest download speeds with the most reliable performance. Get Spectrum Internet with speeds at 200 megabits for $44.99 a month. Call 833-909-4499. Spectrum wins on TV, too. Unlike satellite, Spectrum doesn't have an ugly dish to install. And you get exclusive premium original content with Spectrum Originals.
Wow, really?
Really? Plus, Spectrum has more free HD and free on demand. Get Spectrum TV from $44.99 a month. Call 833-909-4499. And unlike satellite providers, Spectrum doesn't have contracts or early termination fees. We'll even buy out your current contract up to $500. Switch to America's fastest growing internet, TV, and voice provider. Get Spectrum Internet and TV from $44.99 a month each. Ask about our easy self-install options. Call 833-909-4499.
The biggest President's Day sale in Wisconsin starts now at Ashley Home Store. Get our very best deals of the season, including doorbusters up to 50% off. Plus, take bonus holiday discounts off our sale prices in store and online. And interest-free financing for 5 years. Ashley Home Store.
Hey folks, as the temperature drops, we'll show you how the roads look after the snow.
And ahead of Super Bowl weekend, how restaurants are preparing for one of the busiest takeout days of the year. We'll see you starting at 4:30 on News 3 Now this morning.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back. The White House wants to resurrect a scrapped Trump proposal to mail masks to all Americans. White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain says the Biden administration hopes to make progress on the plan in the next week. The idea initially came up last year. It is a huge challenge to get vaccines to everyone, from the biggest cities to the countryside. Madeline O'Neill explored the unique logistical challenges in both urban and rural settings and what obstacles everyone is working to overcome to make sure you get your shot, no matter where you live.
The pandemic has a way of making things feel far away. Our loved ones, neighbors, and a return to normalcy.
We want to get out there and we want to vaccinate people. I mean, this is what we've been working on since March.
The rural parts of our state may seem especially out of reach.
I think the biggest thing for us is resources. You know, we do not have the amount of resources that a bigger urban population would have. But what the great thing is we do have a lot of great partners.
The Sauk County Health Department is keeping close ties with hospitals, including SSM St. Clair Hospital in Baraboo.
We are really striving to make sure that we deliver this vaccine as equitably as possible.
Going the distance to overcome any hurdles they may face.
There is a large rural population, and some of them have to travel great distances to get to their local healthcare providers to receive the vaccine.
But other than that, the SSM Health Network, which has more than a dozen vaccination sites across Wisconsin, says the vaccination process isn't miles apart.
The process is different for us, but in the eyes of a person coming in for the vaccine, it looks the same.
Dane County has more people and more healthcare workers, but that's balanced by more vaccinators.
So everyone's doing their best to make sure that we're getting vaccine out as fast as possible. For us, that means, scaling up at Alliant Energy Center to make sure that we're able to get big fast.
For others, it can mean vaccination clinics. Upland Hills Health in Dodgeville had its first for Phase 1B patients Saturday.
It was very joyous. I have to say, it was one of the highlights, I would say, of my career.
They use the Moderna vaccine, which doesn't require as cold of storage as the Pfizer vaccine, preferable for rural areas.
We are not seeing any specific challenges being in the rural setting. We have been receiving our vaccine in a timely manner.
Rather, Ancillary Services Vice President Chris Ann Carl says the barrier is one all health officials share.
We haven't been getting enough Pfizer and Moderna vaccines as a state.
There's no line in the sand or snow here in Wisconsin when it comes to lack of supply. Last week, SSM Health got a third of what they requested, and the Sauk County Health Department received a quarter. Upland Hills usually gets anywhere from 25 to 40% of its request.
We have a terribly difficult situation with nearly 300,000 doses requested and only 27% that we could provide.
So we're all in the same boat on this.
All in the same boat in another way, too.
So we're all collaborating together to make sure we can get the vaccine out as quickly as we can.
That collaboration bringing us closer to our loved ones, neighbors, and a return to normalcy.
I think the biggest thing would be patience.
In Madison, Madeline O'Neill, News 3 Now.
One obstacle to getting a vaccine can be internet. Both SSM Health and Upland Hills Health have set up a phone line for those with spotty access to sign up. The U.S. Coast Guard helped rescue dozens of people in Door County today. Around 60 people were out on the ice when chunks of it broke off and started to drift out into Lake Michigan. Luckily, there are no reports of any injuries, and it is still unclear what caused the ice to crack. And here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canolti with a look at our first warn forecast.
Well, the snow is winding down, but the blowing and drifting snow is starting to rev up. A high-resolution radar shows pretty much most of the snow done for southwestern and south central Wisconsin. Still a little bit of light snow toward Lake Michigan and Milwaukee, but some of the snowfall totals, Mauston picked up over 6 inches of snow, B-Town in Grant County almost 6 inches, about 4.5 inches in Richland Center. Here at the station, about 4 inches. So the amount's pretty much what we expected, somewhere in the neighborhood of about 3 to 6 inches, maybe a little bit less down toward the Illinois state line. But the accumulating snow now lifting northeastward into northeastern Wisconsin and parts of upper Michigan and lower Michigan. The lake effect snows will start kicking in. Farther out to the west, the snow is over, but notice the visibility down to 3 miles in Dubuque, Iowa, and that's mainly because of blowing snow. Winter storm warnings remain in effect for that area, and winter weather advisories here. Not so much for any accumulating snow, but for blowing snow and icy road conditions as those temperatures continue to drop. Pretty soon the salt is not going to work on the roads, and any roads that are icy and snow covered are going to stay that way unless they can be scraped all the way down to the pavement, and that's hard to do in most areas. On Weather Track, the main part of the storm lifting northeastward as this jet stream pattern has started to shift. Notice the jet stream starting to buckle. It's rising up over the western portion of the United States out in the Pacific Ocean. In fact, a big bubble of high pressure in the upper levels of the atmosphere that drives the jet stream up into Alaska and western Canada, starts to dislodge the cold air, and then brings it roaring southward across much of the central and eastern portion of the United States over the next few days. This low pressure system is what's starting the process. It's starting to pull down that cold air between it and a massive area of high pressure located over western Canada that will sit in place probably for the next week or so. Temperatures are in the upper 20s closer to Lake Michigan, near 20 here in Madison, teens to our west. Then those temperatures drop into the single digits across Minnesota, where wind chills now are running in the 20s to near 25 degrees below zero. That's the cold air that is heading in our direction. 24-hour temperature change, you can see those temperatures have dropped off quite a bit. These are actually the current wind chills, single digits and teens below zero. But again, those temperatures will continue to fall over the next few days and stay well below normal for next week. So on future track, those northwesterly winds will just continue to pull down the cold air. won't see much in the way of sunshine for tomorrow, maybe a few breaks in the clouds. Then tomorrow night with partly cloudy skies, that allows temperatures to fall to around 0. Saturday, we only get up into the single digits, and there will be a weather system passing to our south that could bring us a couple of flurries. Following that, notice how we clear out for Sunday morning. That'll probably be our coldest morning, with temperatures down to around 12 below 0 and wind chills perhaps as cold as 35 degrees below 0. So our forecast includes that winter weather advisory until midnight for areas west of Platteville, Lone Rock, and Wisconsin Dells, till noon for everybody else. Look for a high temperature tomorrow of only 13 degrees. It'll be windy and much colder with blowing and drifting snow through the day. Notice future track wind chills. Saturday morning, teens below 0. Watch what happens by Sunday morning. Those wind chills really drop off. They're actually going to be down somewhere around 30 to 35 degrees below 0. 7 to 10 day forecast. We have alert days in the forecast all the way through Friday of next week. Again, mainly for the bitterly cold air with highs in the single digits, nighttime low temperatures below 0. There also could be some minor snow accumulations on Monday as the weather system passes through. At least we're done with the accumulating snow other than that for the next 10 days.
All right, Gary, thank you. And coming up in sports, the border battle continues tomorrow. Why the Badger men are skating to Minneapolis full of confidence. Zaxxon next with sports.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
3 days only, shop the biggest appliance sale of the year at Grand Appliance. Save on early President's Day price drops combined with Grand exclusive rebates worth up to $700 off top brands like Cafe, Frigidaire, GE, LG, and Whirlpool. Get a deal no competitor can match February 4th, 5th, and 6th exclusively at Grand Appliance. Shop grandappliance.com or a store near you. Grand Appliance and TV. You make it home, we make it grand.
To count down the days, but my ski trip to Cascade Mountain with my cousin each year, so much fun. We used to pretend like we were flying. Now, we really do. My dad and my uncle like that we still ski free. But Noah and I, we just have fun. See you there.
Fusion has it all. Modern styling, spacious interior, plenty of power. Even help to inspire confidence. Ford Copilot 360. NHTSA 5-star overall crash rating. 5-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. So while life is full of compromises, Fusion isn't one of them. Get FlexBuy on 2020 Fusion with 0% APR for 66 months. And with President's Day cash, get a total $4,000 cash back.
At iMart Express, it's just the right price. 2 pairs of glasses start under $40. Using insurance? We accept over 1,000 plans, and using your benefits is as easy as 1, 2, 3. No insurance? No problem. Glasses to fit your budget. It's just the right price. Only at iMart Express.
Winter in Wisconsin means snow, blustering winds, and sub-zero temperatures. Will your insulation keep your home warm? Frank Construction can always help. We're your roofing and insulation pros. We'll find cracks and air pathways in your insulation that are letting in the icy cold and hindering your comfort. With our thermal imaging and cutting-edge insulation techniques, you'll be sure that your home will be warm and energy efficient for many years to come. Visit frankconstruction.com today and prepare your home for the long winter.
Wisconsin weather can be frustrating. Get the latest forecast, alerts, and detailed traffic reports from the News 3 Now team. Download the Channel 3000 Firstborn app, sponsored by Group Health Cooperative, and be prepared for anything headed our way.
Flashback to a couple weeks ago when then #1 ranked Minnesota came into the Bond Arena and Wisconsin handed them their first loss of the year.
Since that series, the Badgers have been red hot on the ice, and they're heading into this weekend's border battle, winners of 5 of their last 6. And they know what's at stake, a sweep in Minneapolis, and Wisconsin takes over the top spot in the Big Ten standings. And after beating Minnesota once, the boys are confident they're going to do it again.
Just the confidence that we gained from that weekend. You know, they're a great team, great in transition. They got a lot of skill. Their power play is pretty deadly. So I think, you know, the biggest thing is just having confidence in ourselves and knowing that we can do it, and, you know, putting our best foot forward this weekend and coming out of there with a sweep.
Like the Badger men, the Badger women also face off against Minnesota this weekend, and Wisconsin has one of the best players in the country in Daryl Watts. The UW forward leads the country in goals and points, and after scoring 10 of them in 8 games in January, Watts was named the WCHA Player of the Month. Saturday, Greg Garden Company will have a huge showdown with Illinois, and Wisconsin is going to need a bench performance like they got against Penn State to be successful. And the big man off the bench was Johnny Davis against Penn State. The freshman scored a career-high 17 points to lead the Badgers, including going 4 for 4 from deep. And after a performance like that, expect a boost of confidence going forward for Davis.
I've been dealing with a little bit of confidence issues for the past couple games. I haven't really been attempting a lot of threes, but to see that first one in a while go down was a really good feeling.
Maybe he didn't shoot 4 for 4 before, shoot that prolific, because maybe he wasn't ready to shoot 4 for 4. So hopefully it helps grow his confidence. But, you know, I think he's just scratching the surface in terms of the type of player he can be.
Great games. The Wisconsin women looking for their second straight Big Ten win, taking on Maryland. And Sydney Hilliard was doing her thing. The triple, part of her game-high 20 points, but unfortunately for her, it wasn't enough. The Terps had 6 players score in double figures, and they never trailed. Badgers fall 84-48. And Steve Stricker was dialed in during the first round of the Waste Management Open. The Edgerton native rolls in a chirper on 9 to drop to 2 under. And then on 10, he goes back-to-back in the birdie department. Strick is 5th place at 6 under, 2 shots off the lead. We're back after this.
It's time to upgrade your downtime. It's time for Stressless. Now at the Century House. Go from one grade of leather to a higher one for free. Or save $300 on Stressless Sunrise recliners. Don't wait. Save hundreds on Stressless comfort. At the Century House, 3420 University Avenue in Madison.
Get more help with your laundry at the laundry cleanup sale now at the Brothers Maine.
Save time and money with the latest in laundry from Whirlpool, Maytag, and Amana. Maine means more with free delivery on washer dryer pairs and our risk-free 30-day price satisfaction guarantee, so you'll be 100% confident with your purchase. That's why we're the More Store. It's the laundry cleanup sale with more selection, more savings, and more help with your laundry. Only at the Brothers Maine, your local store for more since 1938.
It's time for the Great American Sales Event at your local Ford store. Celebrate with FlexBuy. Get 0% APR for 66 months plus $1,000 President's Day cash on top of other offers on select SUVs. With deals on America's best-selling brand, now's a great time to buy. Hurry in or shop online before February 15th. Get FlexBuy on a 2020 Escape with 0% APR for 66 months. And with President's Day cash, get a total $3,000 cash back. Celebrate now during the Great American Sales Event.
Did you know that 178 million Americans are missing at least one tooth?
It's true. That's why at Affordable Dentures and Implants, we only focus on tooth replacement solutions.
Whether it's a single tooth, full dentures, or dental implants, we have an experienced dentist who can create a new smile just for you.
At a price that's affordable.
Because at Affordable Dentures and Implants, we want you to go ahead and smile.
Traffic delays? Be the first to know with News 3 Now Firstborn Traffic. You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Finally tonight, students in the Madison Metropolitan School District had a snow day today, even though classes are still virtual. A family sledding at Elver Park said getting outside was the best thing they could do during today's storm.
We don't really have any school today, so then we can wear pajamas all day. Yeah.
You wear pajamas all day, huh?
Yeah, I'm still wearing them.
So am I. Don't tell anybody. The district says the decision to close buildings and cancel classes today was equity-based. A spokesperson says MMSD wanted to make sure that students involved with in-person or special education programming do not fall further behind, since they couldn't transition to remote learning on such short notice. And here's a meteorologist, Gary Canolti, with a final check of our forecast.
So you're wearing pajamas, huh?
We don't need to tell everybody. Come on.
I can't get away with it. So, and I had to be out trying to shovel the driveway this evening. Well, things are starting to wind down in the snow department. That's moving off to the east, but the blowing and drifting snow will continue. There might be a couple of flurries out there, but most of what's reducing visibility is blowing snow, thanks to the strong winds. So winter weather advisories in effect until midnight for areas west of a Platteville to Lone Rock to Wisconsin Dells line, until noon tomorrow for everybody else, including Madison. Temperatures right now around 20 in Madison, and the teens out to the west of us. Wind chills are dropping below zero out toward the Mississippi River, and those will continue to fall. Tomorrow, look for a low of about 6, a high temperature of about 13, and then those temperatures really nosedive as we head through next week.
All right, Gary, thank you. And thank you for joining us tonight. Do something good, be well, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.